Travis Scott did not just become a rapper, he became a universe. Most artists spend their entire careers trying to get a hit song. Travis Scott built a record label, a fashion empire, a Nike dynasty, a McDonald's meal, a Fortnite concert watched by over 27 million people, and a music festival that became a cultural phenomenon all before turning 35. But here is the part nobody talks about. Before all of that, he was just a quiet kid from Missouri City, Texas, who tricked his parents into giving him money for textbooks and used it to buy a one-way flight to New York City. So how did a suburban kid with no connections and no money build one of the biggest empires in the history of hip-hop? If you love stories about people who built something from absolutely nothing, subscribe right now because we break down the craziest rise to fame stories every single week. Behind the scenes, Travis Scott's rise was not built the way most rap careers are built. It was not built on freestyles or battle raps or mixtape runs. It was built on production, on atmosphere, on creating an entire world around his music that no other artist had ever attempted. A world so immersive that brands, tech companies, and billion-dollar corporations started lining up just to be part of it. And once you understand how he pulled it off, you will never look at the music industry the same way again. Jacques Webster II was born on April 30th, 1991 in Houston, Texas. For the first 6 years of his life, he lived with his grandmother in South Park, one of Houston's roughest neighborhoods. He saw things no child should see. He later moved to Missouri City, a quiet middle-class suburb, to live with his parents. His mother worked at Apple. His father ran his own business and was also a soul musician. His grandfather was a jazz composer. Music was literally in his blood. Travis learned piano and drums as a kid. He started making beats at 17, but he was quiet, not the loud, attention-seeking type you would expect from a future superstar. The kind of kid who watched everything and said very little. That quiet observation would become his greatest creative weapon. Chapter 1: The Escape. Travis attended Elkins High School in Missouri City, where he participated in musical theater. He graduated at 17, he enrolled at the University of Texas at San Antonio, and he hated every single second of it. He later said he could not sit in a lecture hall listening to a professor teach him things he did not care about when all he wanted to do was make music and perform for crowds. But here is the crazy part. He went home and told his parents he needed money for textbooks and a new laptop. They gave it to him. He did not buy textbooks, he bought a plane ticket to New York City. When his parents discovered he had dropped out of college, they cut him off completely. No money, no safety net, no plan B. Just a kid with a dream and a one-way ticket. And this is where things get strange. Travis bounced between New York and Los Angeles with almost nothing. He slept on floors, he crashed on couches, he spent days inside recording studios that belonged to other people, waiting for any chance to lay down a beat or work on a track. He linked up with a friend named Chris Holloway, and they formed a duo called The Graduates, releasing an EP on MySpace that nobody heard. Then he formed another duo called The Classmates with OG Chess. He produced both their projects himself. Both went nowhere, the classmates fell apart over money disputes and personal differences. Travis was broke, unknown, and running out of options. But he never stopped making beats. He never stopped watching how the industry worked from the inside. And that obsession is what caught the ear of two of the most powerful men in hip-hop. Chapter 2: The Mentors. T.I. heard one of Travis's productions and was impressed enough to sign him to Grand Hustle Records. Then Kanye West brought him in as an in-house producer for good music. In 2012, Travis signed his first major label deal with Epic Records. He was 21 years old, but what happened next shocked the entire industry. Travis did not rush to release an album. He dropped Owl Pharaoh in 2013. A mixtape featuring T.I. and 2 Chainz that showed the world his psychedelic, genre-bending production style. Then came Days Before Rodeo in 2014, which built a cult following that treated his music like a religious experience. Travis was not just rapping over beats. He was building dark, atmospheric sonic landscapes layered with distorted vocals and thundering drums. Nothing else in hip-hop sounded like it. But here is what made Travis truly untouchable. In 2015, he released his debut studio album, Rodeo. The single Antidote became a platinum smash and turned him into a household name. The album hit #1 on the Billboard rap chart. Then Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 in 2016. Travis was no longer an underground producer with potential, he was a bona fide headliner. But the album that would change everything was still coming. Travis Scott's biggest move had nothing to do with a song or a verse. It had to do with a demolished theme park from his childhood and a vision that nobody else in the industry could see. Name: Chapter 3, The Empire. In August 2018, Travis released Astroworld, named after the Six Flags amusement park in Houston that was demolished when he was a kid. The album was a love letter to his hometown, wrapped in the most immersive sonic experience mainstream rap had ever heard. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. Sicko Mode featuring Drake became his first #1 single on the Billboard Hot 100. The song spent over 30 weeks on the chart and became one of the defining tracks of the decade. But Travis took things even further than anyone could have imagined. He launched the Astroworld Festival in Houston, turning a concert into an annual cultural event. He founded Cactus Jack Records and signed rising artists like Don Toliver and Jacques Webster. He partnered with Nike and Jordan Brand on sneakers that sold out in seconds and resold for thousands of dollars. He collaborated with McDonald's on the Travis Scott meal, the first celebrity meal collaboration the chain had done since Michael Jordan in 1992. He performed a virtual concert inside Fortnite that was attended by over 27 million players simultaneously, shattering every record for a virtual event. He collaborated with Dior on a high fashion collection. He performed at the Super Bowl halftime show alongside Maroon 5. Travis Scott was no longer just a rapper, he was a brand, a cultural architect, a one-man economy that touched music, fashion, food, gaming, and luxury, all at the same time. Then came Utopia in 2200. He debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. He launched the Circus Maximus tour, performing to massive crowds across the globe. 5 #1 singles on the Hot 100 over the course of his career, over 45 million certified records sold in the United States alone, 10 Grammy nominations, a Billboard Music Award, a Latin Grammy Award, multiple BET Hip Hop Awards, and he built every single piece of it from a plane ticket he bought with textbook money. Travis Scott did not become one of the biggest names in entertainment by following the path that already existed. He built an entirely new path and made the whole industry follow him down it. The world expected Jacques Webster to sit in a lecture hall, get a degree, and find a safe, respectable career. He bought a plane ticket instead. And then he turned a quiet obsession with drums and dark melodies into an empire that stretches from music to fashion to tech to food to gaming to luxury. Travis Scott proved that the most dangerous people in any industry are not the loudest ones in the room. They are the quiet ones who are watching everything, learning everything, and building something nobody else can see yet. And that is how a quiet kid from Houston built an empire bigger than his music. If this story hit different, drop a like and subscribe. We tell stories like this every week. The next one is even crazier.